The new Google Gemini 2.5 Pro update just released a Kraken, and it is absolutely free. All right. So what I'm going to show you now is how to build a game where we can just drive a car around. And there's all sorts of crazy examples. I'll show you how to build like a full chess game and all sorts of crazy stuff in a second. We can drive around, we can do whatever we want. We can go through this little train bit here. We can build crazy stuff, go backwards and forwards, all right? And it's really easy to build this stuff out, right? I think it's just bugged out completely there, but you get the point. So let me show you exactly how to build it. And this is based on the new update that just came out like a couple of days ago from Gemini 2.5 Pro. I think, honestly, most people don't understand how powerful this is and how much of a game changer it is, right? It's totally changed everything, because not only is this like an awesome thinking model, not only is it beating, for example, powerful AI models like Claude in its benchmarks, but it's also incredibly powerful for like building out coding and taking an idea that you have in your head and turning it into reality, right? So you can see it in terms of the benchmarks here. It's pretty much outperforming all the main models for most of the benchmarks here. So for example, like Humanities Last Exam or Amy Maths Test is outperforming some of the most powerful models in the world, but at the same time, it is completely free to use, right? So if you want to go to aistudio.google.com, you can click on create prompt. And then from here, you can just type in your prompt and whatever you want to do. The other way that you can do this is you can grab an API key like you see right here. Then we can navigate to something like Visual Studio Code. And inside Visual Studio Code, we can start coding with the API inside extensions like Client and RuCode, right? So if we go to the settings over here, we can select Open Router, Google Gemini 2.5 Pro Experimental, and it's free. Doesn't cost you anything, but it's the best AI model in the world. How is that possible? And yeah, you can use it completely free inside aistudio.google.com. The other thing to note here is if you go into gemini.google.com/app, that's going to be paid, right? So you have to pay for the model inside Gemini Advanced if you want to use 2.5 Pro Experimental. Don't do that. Instead, do this. Go to AI Studio, go to create prompt, and then in the model section over here, go to Gemini 2.5 Pro Experimental, and you can select whatever you want, right? And it is literally breaking the internet. Let me show you some examples, right? So a lot of people are saying this is literally the best model for code. So it's extremely powerful, 1 million token context, doesn't just agree with you, Flash is a genius, etc. Great tweet from McKay Rigsley. You can also see some of the other stuff people are building. So like this dinosaur game, I actually built that as well, and I'll show you exactly how to do it in a sec. And people are even building like crazy plane flight simulators, like you can see right here. And it's not just limited to coding, it can do so much more, but that just gives you an idea of how powerful this is. And wow, my video just popped up right there as well. That's what we like. Julian Goldie rep in here. All right, so let me show you some other cool stuff. So for example, Poonam Soni, she did this awesome tweet on like the comparisons. So you got Gemini 2.5 Pro over here versus GPT-01 Pro. Like which one is doing a better job? For sure, if you look at the realism here, I'm going to go with Gemini 2.5 Pro, right? Like the physics and everything else look 10 times nicer versus GPT-01 Pro, right? And that's the difference here. It's like one of them's just better at coding. One of them creates better options, right? This car game we actually just created. And I'm going to run you through like some of the best prompts and how you can build this stuff out right now, okay? So let me show you some examples of what we built. So if you want to build the 3D car simulator, all you're going to do, simple stuff, you just say, can you create a simple 3D car simulator with 3.js and a single HTML? Add clouds, mountains, roads, some trees, and a train going around, right? Make sure it works on mobile. It's going to use its thinking mode, like you can see right here. We have 2.5 Pro Experimental figured out. And then once you've done that, you're going to see all of this right here, okay? Now, this is actually coded in HTML. So all you're going to do is, there's two options here. You can download it, and then you can actually grab that code, drag it in here, and start using it like so. Or the other option is you can go over to something like LiveWeave, as you can see right here, and start using it that way. And if it ever breaks or anything like that, just refresh the page and you're ready to go on now, okay? Pretty amazing stuff. Now, it's probably not going to be like perfect first time around, but you get the point. Like it's incredibly easy to do. It looks pretty cool. Graphics are super nice. And it did it in one shot as well, right? Like there's no messing around here. Like it literally did it. Let's see if we can crash into that. All right, there we go. And then if you want to keep building out the rest of the game, you can just go back inside aistudio.google.com and start doing this magic. All right. So that's how to build prompt 1. I'll include all the prompts inside the AI Profit Boardroom if you want to get that link inside the description if you want to use this stuff. But yeah, incredibly easy, very, very fast. So let me show you how easy and fast it is actually to generate this. So if we take that exact same prompt and we'll start a new chat now. So we'll create prompt, then we're going to click on this and we shall say, okay, same thing, right? I like to press command and return just to send that quickly over. You've got a timer here, so it shows you how long it takes to respond, right? So if you actually open up the thinking, it's thinking out the whole process, etc., looking at how long it takes. And you can see it's using this magic right there. So it's going to plan out and reason this. This is not a base model. So for example, something like DeepSeek version 3, the new version, that is a base model, which means that it's not designed for reasoning, right? Whereas if you use, for example, something like this is a reasoning model, which means it's much better for coding, much better for maths, etc., right? And you can see how quick it's generating that code. Like it's incredibly fast. So it blasts it out. I mean, it's going to be quite a lot of code, but it pretty much codes it perfectly. And the good thing about this is you don't even need to be able to code or understand this stuff. All you need to be able to do is just download the HTML file and then drag it into a new tab, right? Like that's pretty much it. So it's still coding out right now. Let's see where we're up to. Finished off. All right. So that took 66 seconds to generate this game. Now imagine if someone was coding that out. How long would this take? Absolutely to think about it. And someone very skilled as well, right? Now what you can do is you can click the download option here. We've got the download ready to go. And then we'll drag it in. And we have the game ready to load, right? Pretty simple stuff. So if you want to build other stuff, here's another example. So this is fully working chess game in HTML. All right. So we asked it to generate a fully working chess game. Now, if we go back to liveweave.com, we'll delete that and then we'll plug this in and we have the chess game. All right. Chess game ready to go. So the code is in the top left. All we needed to do was copy and paste HTML, nothing else. And then let's test this works. So can we play? It looks like we can, right? So I can't move this to black because it's a white's turn. So let's try that out again now. There we go. And it gives you the move history as well on the right-hand side. Again, this was coded out in one single prompt, absolutely wild. So we just said, make a fully working chess game in HTML. So here you go. Just go off and use it, right? No messing around, no back and forth prompting or anything like that. So if we move the black pawn over here, we can decide to move forward or we can move to the left-hand side. And yeah, incredibly easy. We can also move that and it works perfectly, right? How cool is that? How amazing is that? So there's all sorts of crazy stuff you can build with this. This is just a start. Let me show you some other stuff. So you can see here, this was an awesome tweet from Petri. I don't want to even try and pronounce his surname, but awesome tweet. Make sure you follow him on Twitter. And you can see he built like this Space Invaders game. All right. So let's try and test the same prompt out now. And I actually did that earlier, as you can see right here. So I copied and pasted the same prompt from Petri, like you can see, and really simple and easy, coded out as HTML again. All right. And then we're going to take that code, copy that over. We'll go back to LiveWeave. All right. And we'll paste that in. Let's see if this works. So we've got the Space Invader controls at the bottom. And then you can see here now it's working perfectly, all right? And then I think we want to collect these health scores. So yeah, we just collect the health scores. And then we're having a jolly good time here, peeps, all right? I'm live streaming and coding and building out games, and it's effortless. And I didn't spend like 20 years learning how to code either, all right? So that's how cool this is, how powerful it is, etc. And we can get little speed boosts as well. And it works perfectly. Now, I honestly believe the Gemini 2.5 is the most powerful in the world for coding. I think it's going to be very hard to beat this, right? Like, considering it's free as well, and considering you can get an API and start coding with it, the only thing that would make it better is, of course, like if you could open source it, but Google are never going to do that. Like, that's the secret source, I guess. So I don't see Google ever open sourcing this model, but it's super powerful stuff. Right. And yeah, you can also, for example, go into Visual Studio Code. Let me show you how to use this. So you want to download Visual Studio Code at code.visualstudio.com. Then from there, once you've installed it, go to extensions And then from there, I think Klein is really good. Klein or Rucode, pretty good. Rucode is one of my favorites too. So if we select the Rucode icon on the left, once you've installed it, then we're going to go to settings, and then we're going to select Google Gemini Pro Experimental, right? Now, the way to do this is two different options. You can, number one, insert your Google Gemini API key, right? So you'd go to aistudio.google.com, click on Get API Key, and then from here, create API key, and you can grab an API key right there, right? Completely free to use. So you can grab one like that. All you can do is you can go back to here, and you can select Open Router. All right. Now, if you select Open Router inside the API key section here, you just go to openrouter.ai. Let me show you how to do that. There you go. And then once you've done that, select keys at the top right. Once you've signed in and created an account, click Create Key, and you'll be able to use the Gemini model. All right. So if we go back with our API key, we would plug it in here, select Google Gemini, and you see how it says :free here. That means it's free to use. All right. So once you've done that, we can hit save, we can hit done. This is a multimodal model as well. So for example, that means that if we have something in mind that we want to create, then we can easily do it. So for example, let's go back to Live Weave. If we go back to Live Weave here with the HTML from the Space Invaders game, all right, we could take that, grab that image, copy it here, go back into Visual Studio Code, paste in that image that we just created, and say, okay, clone this game and recreate it in a simple HTML file. All right. Now, the benefit of this is that when you're doing this, and again, you see how there's some errors with the API key. So if there's some errors like that, you can just go back here, select Google, and then select Google Gemini. But you can see it's going off and doing this magic, right? So the way that you can do this, and we'll allow that, we'll hit save there, is that when you're doing this, like, you can save it locally. That means that when you reopen Visual Studio Code, you've got the code ready to save locally. So that's the benefit of using this instead of like Google AI Studio, which is going to save everything on your account, but you don't have it like to re-edit later and that sort of thing. It'd be a lot harder to find that. So that's basically how to build and create anything that you want. You know, the new update from Gemini 2.5 Pro, from what I've seen for coding specifically, is better than any other AI model out there, and it doesn't cost you a penny. But yeah, it's an absolute game changer. So if you want all the prompts from today and the examples, etc., I'll include that inside the AI Profit Boardroom. Link in the comments and description. Price is going up this month. This is a community all focused on saving time and making more money with AI. So if you want to learn how to do that, feel free to get this stuff. And inside the SAP section here, we've got tons of training courses on, for example, like how to build anything with Gemini 2.5 Pro, including how to set up like AI Studio and how to use and build anything with Gemini 2.5 Pro in 9 or 10 different ways, like you can see. And also we've got a full course on like DeepSeek 3.1, NA10 MCP agents, whatever you want to learn pretty much when it comes to AI is all inside here. So feel free to get that link in the comments description. And inside the community, you can ask 578 members anything that you want about AI. So if you're struggling about something or you need a bit of support, etc., then feel free to post inside the classroom and we can help you out. Like you see right here, everyone gets an answer, right? So if you have a question, post inside the community and we'll get back to you as soon as we can. And everyone's here to just help each other out, like you see. So for example, Constantine was asking a question and 6 people actually just came back and answered. Yeah. And also there are live Q&A calls here. So you can jump on the weekly live Q&A calls, ask any questions you have, and we're happy to help you. Top of that, if you want to get a free one-to-one SEO strategy session, feel free to get that link inside the comments description. We'll show you how we take websites from 0 to 145,000 visits a month and generate hundreds of thousands of dollars in sales on autopilot. On this free SEO domination plan, you'll get a custom tailored game plan so you can generate more lead sales and profits from your website. You'll be able to ask any questions you have live on the call, and you learn how to 10x your SEO traffic. So if you want more free traffic, more customers, and more sales from your website, feel free to get that free SEO strategy session, link in the comments description. Appreciate you watching, and thanks. Bye-bye.